In the late 20th century, a group of scientists became convinced that human activity was causing unprecedented global warming. They argued that burning fossil fuels was releasing CO2 and other greenhouse gases, trapping the sun's heat and disrupting the natural balance of the planet. Armed with computer models that seemed to confirm their dire predictions, these scientists, along with environmental activists and the media, quickly convinced key political figures, most notably Al Gore, that urgent and drastic action was needed to avert a looming catastrophe. At the heart of this movement was the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, established by the United Nations in 1988. Despite its portrayal as a scientific body representing the consensus of the world's top climate scientists, the IPCC was fundamentally a political organization. Its mandate was not to question the existence of human-induced climate change, but to promote it and advise on how to address it. The IPCC's reports were not the result of a balanced assessment of evidence. Instead, they were carefully crafted to present a strong case for the predetermined view that global warming was real and primarily caused by human activity. This was achieved through selective inclusion of contributors, manipulation of the summary for policymakers, and over-reliance on computer models. One of the most controversial pieces of evidence presented by the IPCC was the hockey stick graph, which purported to show that late 20th century temperatures were the highest in the past 1,000 years. This graph, created by Michael Mann, became the centerpiece of the IPCC's 2001 report and a powerful symbol of the global warming narrative. However, the hockey stick was soon challenged by scientists like Ross McKittrick and Stephen McIntyre, who exposed serious flaws in Mann's methodology. They demonstrated that the graph was a statistical artifact, heavily influenced by flawed data and manipulated statistical techniques. Despite these criticisms, the IPCC continued to promote the hockey stick until it was further discredited by the Wegman Report, commissioned by the U.S. House Committee on Energy and Commerce. The report concluded that Mann's methodology was flawed and that the hockey stick was not a reliable representation of past temperatures. As the IPCC's influence grew, so did the political and media frenzy surrounding global warming. Politicians, environmental groups, and the mainstream media overwhelmingly embraced the consensus view, often portraying it as an unquestionable truth. This led to a stark divide between the consensus and the growing body of scientists who questioned it. The latter were often labeled as deniers and faced significant pressure and even censorship. The media, particularly the BBC, largely ignored or dismissed their arguments, perpetuating the illusion of a unanimous scientific consensus. The global warming hysteria has had profound economic and social consequences. Governments, particularly in the West, have implemented costly policies aimed at reducing CO2 emissions, such as subsidies for renewable energy, emissions trading schemes, biofuels mandates, and carbon taxes and regulations. As the evidence against the consensus view has mounted, a counter-consensus has begun to emerge. This includes skepticism about the role of CO2. Many scientists argue that natural factors, such as solar activity and ocean currents, play a more significant role in climate change than CO2. Criticism of computer models. The limitations and inaccuracies of climate models are increasingly being recognized. Re-evaluation of historical climate data. The hockey stick controversy has led to a re-examination of historical climate data, challenging the notion that current warming is unprecedented. The story of the global warming scare is a cautionary tale about the dangers of allowing fear, ideology, and vested interests to override scientific rigor and open debate. It highlights the need for a return to scientific rigor, balanced media coverage, and rational policymaking. Ultimately, the global warming debate is not just about science, it's about how we understand and respond to the challenges facing our planet. It is crucial that we approach this issue with an open mind, a commitment to truth, and a willingness to question the assumptions that have driven the global warming narrative for the past 2 decades. Thank you for joining me in the journey as we deep dive into the book, The Real Global Warming Disaster by Christopher Booker. If you liked what you've seen, Please like, subscribe, and share. Remember to keep learning, stay curious, and keep shining bright. This has been BrightLearn. Bye for now. Visit brightlearn.ai for more fascinating videos like this one, and naturalnews.com for full editorial coverage and breaking news on critical stories that keep you informed and aware of what's really going on.